All right, so what I'm going to do is show you how to install the widget and get it activated here on my fake website. Assuming you've got yourself a WordPress website, what we're going to do here for this demo is run through the process of finding out where the plugin is, how to get it installed, how to get it activated, and then we'll set up kind of like a sample featured property page that will allow you to display a nav bar that'll populate the information for whatever your featured property is on that page. There's a lot of different other ways to use it on your site, but we'll just use this one for the time being. So all WordPress sites look a little bit different on the back end, depending on your theme, where you got your site, if it's hosted by some third-party company, what version of WordPress you're looking for. But more or less, everybody's got on the nav section here on the left side of your WordPress dashboard. And what we're going to be looking for is the plugin section. And then we're going to select the add new option. It's going to take us to the WordPress plugin repository, where there's like millions of different plugins that you can get. And we're going to look here for the onboard. I'm going to type onboard nav. And there we go. Onboard nav. We can select it and see all of the information about it. But we're just going to cut to the chase and go to install now. You'll see over here that it's installed. We can activate it here, but actually I'm just going to kind of walk you through really the proper way of doing this. And go to the install plugin section. And this would be all of the plugins that you have installed on your site. Below each of them is the option to activate it, delete it, edit, which is usually not too useful, but we're going to choose activate here. It's going to go ahead and activate it. Now, if I look back over here on my left-hand main nav, I can see that there's a new option called Onboard Nav. I'm going to press that. And I'm going to here sort of clear all this stuff out to make it kind of the same way that it'll look when you first get it. And we're going to populate all this stuff here for the purposes of this demo. So here's what you do. The first thing is that we need to get a widget script. This is the part where you need to contact Onboard at sales@onboardinformatics.com and tell them that you've downloaded the widget and you need to get a widget script, which includes your special widget key, any sort of customizations that you are going to have on your nav bar as far as colors and things like that go. And somebody on the friendly onboard sales team will set up your billing plan, so on and so forth, and in a very short amount of time, send you a script which will look something like this. And then you just paste that in here. Now, at this point, what we can see here is that there's this shortcode generator that populates based on whatever the address is that I'm putting in this area. So the nav bar itself displays information about a particular address. So we need to tell it which address we want it to display information about. In this case, since we're building a featured property page with it, I'm going to put in this information because this is going to be my featured property. I'm going to save it, and it's going to update this little short code here for me. Looks good. I'm going to copy that. And now let's go ahead and create our featured property page real quick. I'm not going to get too fancy with this at all, but let's call the page the address that we made this for. Check out our newest and nicest listing. Here's where I'm going to put, any imagery and all of the other stuff about my my new awesome listing that I've got. And then that, if you notice, is in the visual tab here on your text editor inside the page creator. This is probably one of the more important things when you're working with shortcodes or any sort of code that you're going to be pasting into your page in WordPress. That always gets pasted in the section that says text, right? See these two tabs here? This is critical. If you paste it in here in the visual section, and this goes with this goes for any WordPress plugin or any piece of code that you're pasting into a WordPress page. If you paste it in here and press publish, you're only going to see the code itself. It's not going to render. So you've got to switch over to text and paste in your short code here that was generated when we set up the widget. And then I'm going to click publish. Oh, here's actually another thing to sort of know about the nav bar. It's set up to be, pretty wide. It is responsive, of course, but it looks best on a full page or full width page template. Most WordPress themes have that option. They have different page templates, whether it be a contact form, left side, right side nav, or full width. Most of them have a full width, so I'm going to select that, update the page, and let's see what we got. We'll go check out my page here, 3535 Front Street. I would have all of my, artistic content here, my, photos and stuff like that. But most importantly, down here, I've got the nav bar, which is now appearing and displaying information about 3535 Front Street. It's got all of the cool stuff that Dean ran through earlier, and it's all here. Now, there's a few other things that you can do if you have, a custom IDX search or something like that. You can have your developer implement this and put it on the listing detail pages, so it will dynamically, display information for whatever the address of the property is that you're looking at. Long story short, that's how to do it. It works just like any other WordPress widget. The installation process is pretty straightforward. It works as, works with short codes. And now here's actually another thing. Let's say we wanted to actually display a different property here. We can actually, instead of going all the way back to our shortcode editor, we can actually just edit the address right here. And let's say instead of 3535, let's do 3555 Front Street, and then update. So just to sort of clarify that you can use it for multiple properties on the same page. You don't need to have, different subscriptions for each property or something like that. Now this one is displaying the information for that particular property, which is a little bit different. That I think covers it, really. There's a lot of different things that you can do with it, if you sort of think creatively about it. Different places you can put it on your site. At the end of the day, we try to make it as easy as possible to actually install. And of course, if you have any trouble with it, you can always reach out and we'll set you guys up and going in the right direction.
So that is the plugin for the nav bar, which is the first bar that Dean explained. And then eventually we'll have plugins for the other two bars, correct?
Yep, that's right. Actually, yep, those are out there as well. One of them is just getting approved by the WordPress review team, but they'll install exactly the same way as this one. The process will be exactly the same for all three widgets. It's important to note. All three plugins work the same exact way.
The information to reach out to us if you do have more questions is now on your screen. And if you need anything else, please don't hesitate to use that email or phone number to contact us.